Okay, welcome to day 3. So today we're going to do 3 different things. First, I'm going to show you how you can have events happen on a timer, because sometimes it's nice to have certain things happen periodically in the game. Then we're going to talk about how you can change your speed. We already know how to make a circle move to the left and the right and up and down, but we don't know how to make it change speed as the game is happening. We also don't know how to make it change direction, which is just another name for changing speed. Your speed is changing to be backwards. And then finally, we're going to have it bounce off things, so we'll have it bounce off the walls. You'll end by making gravity, because gravity is just another name for changing the Y speed. Next time, we'll start getting into the mouse and the keyboard and how to make it do things when you click and when you press buttons. Okay, so you should go ahead and create the following program. This is kind of a stripped-down version of what we had before. So I've got an ellipse that draws at x, y. Here are my variables x, y. We're starting at 300, 300, but right now there's no motion of any kind. Well, let's go ahead and add some motion. So we can have it go to the right by 10, and let's go ahead and add a screen wrap. So if x is greater than 600, then I'll set x to be 0. Otherwise, if x is less than 0, I'll set it to be 600. Okay, so let's make sure that works. Cool. So let's do something on a timer. For a timer, we need some notion of the passage of time. So I'm going to make an integer called time, which is just going to count how many times have we done the draw loop. So time is going to start out equaling 0. And then inside the draw loop, I'm going to say time plus plus, which is going to add 1 to time. So let's maybe make the background color change once every 30 frames. So first we've got to actually make the background color be a color. So let's make a new integer called background color. And I'm going to start the background color off being white. So it's going to be a mixture of 255, 255, and 255. And then if I want the background to use that color, I'll take that variable, and instead of saying background 220, I'm going to say background color, and it will use that color. Actually, just to prove it to you, let's start the background at red, which is going to look really different. So if I run it, you see the background is a beautiful red. So here's how we're going to use the timer. We're going to say if time equals 30, then we're going to do 2 things. We're going to reset the background color, and we also have to reset the timer if we want this to happen over again. So I'm going to set the time back to 0 here, so that way, when we come back to the top of draw, we're going to start counting from 0 again until we hit 30. Then we'll reset the background color and set time back to 0 to start counting up again from the beginning. Okay, so the big beginner mistake here is to try and use the background command again here. That's not what we want to do. We want to just keep one place where we draw the background, right here. If we want the background to change color, all we need to do is change the number that's inside this variable, and then just wait until the code comes back up to the top of draw, and then uses the new number inside this variable. So let's make it be a random color. So I'm going to make an int red that's going to be math.random times 256. So that's a random amount between 0 and 255. And then I'm going to do the same thing for an amount of green and the same thing for an amount of blue. Then I'm going to say background color equals, and I'm just going to set it to be a new mixture of my random amounts of red, green, and blue. So I'll use the color command to mix them together, and RGB are my 3 variables. So I've generated random numbers, I've mixed those numbers together to give me a new color, I save the color here. Nothing in here actually draws anything. I'm just changing the number that's inside this color variable, but then eventually the code will jump back to the top of draw and background will be painting with this new number inside the background color here. Okay, let's watch it happen. Cool. That's not distracting at all. I just thought I'd show you that now. Much later, when you know how to create hundreds and hundreds of moving objects in your game in a very easy way, you might want to do things on a timer like create enemies or have power-ups appear or disappear, things like that. Okay, I'm actually going to record a second video for all the rest of the stuff I said.